You wanna do our traditional clap sync? You can count it down.
Okay, all right. Five,
Four,
four,
three,
three,
two,
two,
one.
one.
It's probably okay. Welcome back to the ABL podcast. I'm Jeremy Lysek. I'm here with my co-host
Dakota Jones.
Dakota. We have a whole bunch of changes for Generation 9. We got a lot to talk about today.
So much to talk about.
A lot of additions, a lot of subtractions. But let's start off on a negative note, and we'll talk about Pokemon that lost moves.
Yeah, that mostly got worse. Lots of them.
Well, yeah, usually when you lose something, it gets worse.
You know, yeah,
So we're gonna start off with Charizard here. Charizard uh, lost some important things to it. It lost Scorching Sands, basically its best way and most best way to hit fire types, most reliable way to hit steel types. I'm just thinking of Heatran, I guess, because it can
yeah.
hit
Just
steel types
Heatran.
with fire moves.
Can't hit Heatran with fire moves though.
No, you can't. Man, we're gonna be in a timeline where Heatran's gonna be able to turn into like just a pure steel type, and then it will still be immune to fire moves because of the Flash Fire. Won't that be fun?
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Looking forward to that. But Charizard also lost Roost and Defog. I don't think like. I guess in League, I feel like you never really saw like a Spadef Charizard, but having Roost and Defog out of its like options for what it can run means it's just gonna have to run offensive pretty much all the time,
Yeah, it's made it very much more one-dimensional.
for
Like,
sure.
moving on to our next Pokemon, the first of the slow boys, Slowbro, losing teleport and recycle. Um, pretty shitty for Slowbro. You know, kind of changes its role going forward because teleport was such a great uh great addition to its move pool to be able to be the best slow teleporter in the game.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. Now, also, just a note, Slowbro, along with a lot of water types, and honestly, pretty much every Pokemon, lost Toxic as well as Scald. So I didn't put those in here just because I didn't want to type up every single Pokemon that lost Toxic and Scald. But uh, also, that's on the list of things that lost.
yes, yes, of course. Uh, but I
Uh,
think unless you
yeah,
have anything to add.
No, I don't think so. After that, we've got Gengar that lost Sludge Wave. Not a huge downgrade, because it still does have Sludge Bomb, only 5 base power weaker, and also 20%, or it's got a 30% chance to poison as opposed to Sludge Wave's 5. I think if you did 100 Sludge Waves versus 100 Sludge Bombs, because. Zhang, please stop. This is a video podcast now. We can't be dealing with your shenanigans. So if you did 100 sludge waves and 100 sludge bombs, I think the poison chance probably ends up you do more damage with sludge bombs. So I think this will affect some calcs, but overall, I don't think it's actually a damage reduction for Gengar.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Scyther next, losing dual Wing Beat, Roost, and Bug Bite. Dual Wing Beat's a huge loss here. Bug Bite boosted by Technician, obviously not ideal. Roost is, I mean, it's a loss, but like I don't know how often you're running Roost Scyther, so that's
Like I think
yeah.
on, see, I'm thinking back to a pre heavy duty boots meta where things would run like Eviolite. Like you could have an Eviolite Swords Dance Roost, Bug Bite Aerial Ace Scyther back in the day.
Yeah, but now you usually just run boots instead.
Yeah, now you're probably running. Yeah, but also dual wing beat being off there really sucks, and also bug bite. So now you have to run X scissor aerial ace. I don't. I think it lost knockoff too.
Like
Correct.
most things.
Yeah, it did. It gained one move that it'll probably run. But yeah, this
We'll
is
get to that
definitely a
later.
change to Scyther's move pool, like considerably.
Yeah.
After that, we've got Gyarados losing Power Whip. This really sucks for it. It's its only way to hit bulky water type super effectively, which is usually the stop to it. Its forever nemesis. Sorry. Its forever nemesis, Rotom Wash, still in the game, and now not scared of this Power Whip.
Yeah, because it doesn't get it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a shame that Gyarados lost that.
I mean, yeah, I guess they're trying to balance the meta, but I mean, we shall see. Uh, Up next we have the. I guess are we lumping the evolutions together?
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
Let's lump them together because they only really. I mean, uh, sorry, there we go. Uh, Losing Weather Ball, both Vaporeon and Jolteon. Uh, I mean, affects Jolteon somewhat, affects Vaporeon, I guess. But Flareon losing superpower.
Yeah, that's a big one. Didn't have many coverage moves, and it lost one of the few that it did have.
Yeah, it's kind of like its only like move. Um,
Yeah, because
to hit rock
before,
types especially.
yeah, like because you're usually running Facade and Flare Blitz, rock types are gonna come in, totally wall you out. Superpower was the only thing you had to threaten them. Um, Definitely a big loss for Flareon there. Talk about Mons getting gutted. Dragonite losing Defog, Dual Wing Beat, Heal Bell, and Roar. Roar not super common. Heal Bell a little bit, around there. But these are just tools, and it's like tools that it had in its arsenal. It's been taken away from it, which is a real shame.
Yeah, bummer. Uh, Up next we have Azurill, losing Whirlpool, losing the ability to use that Whirlpool trapping set. So it makes Azumarill more one-dimensional. It's still Azumarill, so like it'll still hit really hard when you need it to.
Yeah, I think
But
that Azu's like it. I mean, in League, it would probably run trapping a little bit more here and there, but
yeah, this I mean it. I don't think it's gonna affect it on the ladder much. It definitely
yeah,
makes it worse for League format.
yeah, 90% of its usage was probably not involving Whirlpool, so
Yeah.
I think it might be okay. Slowking. Oh, I added Chili Reception. Let me get that out of there. It didn't lose Chili Reception. That's a new gain. We'll talk about that later. But Slowking also lost Teleport. Another Generator Mon, like its brother. Teleport down the drain. Big loss for that. This is what really catapulted it into relevance last gen, and now that's gone.
Yeah, not ideal. Up next we have Scizor losing all of the same moves as Scyther and Knockoff. Does that mean Scythe? Did we confirm if Scyther lost Knockoff as well?
Yes, I did mention that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So really, really awful for Scizor. Losing Knockoff, Roost, Dual Wing Beat, a little bit less so, but I mean, can't really run it as a full defensive mon anymore.
Yeah, significant drop off for Scizor. We're seeing a lot of like I don't know what the opposite of roll compression is. I don't know. Like a lot of mons had multiple rolls
Roll
they could do.
roll decompression.
Roll decompression. Yeah. Now it's just like you do the go back to doing the one thing you do, Scizor.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's always done multiple things though. So
But
like
now
that's
it's just now you're just running offensive. You can't recover. It probably doesn't have defog either, which I didn't check for, but
um,
let's see. Oh no, it still does get defog. That's good.
yeah, because I think Scyther gets it. So I mean,
Yeah, but yeah. So after that, did we got Blissey? Blissey lost Wish, which is a big loss. It was easily the best Wish passer in the game, but that's out of there. Teleport, which last gen it became more popular than Chansey. Between heavy duty boots and teleport, it was pivoting in on every special attacker in the world. Losing both of these is honestly devastating for what it did last gen. Also, lost counter, something I'm fond of, but I don't think many people are
oh no,
using
you'll see
Blissey
it come
to.
out in league play, especially with Bliss.
Yeah, but definitely a significant loss for Blissey there, losing Wish and Teleport.
Yeah. Up next, man, all the Pokemon that Jerem loves to use in a row here. We got Tyranitar next. Losing superpower. Uh, I mean, you'd rather have superpower. High horsepower is less of a deal, and I mean, roar is roar. It's made Tyranitar worse, but like, there's really only so bad a Tyranitar can be. So like,
Yeah, honestly, like it losing these three moves compared to last gen losing Pursuit. Um,
yeah. Oh man, rather have Pursuit back.
yeah, it would give up these three moves if it was able to get Pursuit back, no question. Pelipper also getting some cuts here, losing Defog, that staple move on Pelipper, uh, and then also losing Weather Ball, which is a pretty common move on the offensive sets if it were to run that. Disappointing for Pelipper, but it's still going to do what it needs to do. It's still going to run like, I mean, actually, even the defensive sets now. So it lost Scald, so it's running Surf or Hydro Pump,
Yeah,
and then U-turn Roost. I don't know what the last move would be. Ice Beam, Hurricane. I'm dumb.
Hurricane,
Yeah,
definitely Hurricane.
yeah,
But moving on, we have Gardevoir losing Recover and Ice Beam, which prompted both of us to say, "Hey, Gardevoir got Recover and Ice Beam."
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, like I'd seen it use Wish in the past. I've never seen it run Ice Beam.
that's Moonlight as well, I believe.
Uh, yeah, it probably does. Let's see. Nope.
Or, or maybe it doesn't anymore.
Morning Sun. No. Well, I guess it had Recover. It doesn't get it now. I think I'm pretty sure it still gets Wish, so that's something you could run on it. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. After that, we got Luxray. Luxray losing superpower, also kind of a big deal. That's runs a very similar set to Jolteon, where it would run Guts, stab move plus Facade. So losing coverage, Luxray really doesn't like having that happen, especially like a high base power move like Superpower. Disappointing for Luxray, but also Luxray was never that great. So
Yeah, no, yeah,
Just like Flareon in a way. I might have said Jolteon earlier. My mistake if I did
you
that.
did say Jolteon, but it's
Whoops.
okay. Up next, we have Driftblim. Losing Mystical Fire really sucks for Driftblim. It doesn't have a ton of coverage to begin with, and like this was kind of like one of those moves that's just kind of free to tack on because of the lowering of special attack if you know your matchup. So it's yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wasn't a move that you'd see on Drifblim all the time, but it's definitely a nice thing to have available to it, but not anymore. Continuing on the train of Pokemon that lost superpower that didn't have a lot of moves they could run in the first place.
Man, it's
Honchkrow,
a long train too.
Honchkrow lost it. Also, another Pokemon that lost Knockoff. Knockoff significantly less distributed now than it used to be. So Honchkrow losing. So now it's got to run Sucker Punch, Night Slash, Brave Bird. We'll go over it later, but it gained U-turn. But Honchkrow definitely losing some big options there in Superpower and Knockoff.
Yeah. Up next, we have Garchomp losing Roar and Scale Shot. I mean, Scale Shot was relatively new for Garchomp to begin with. Losing Roar sucks, but I mean, it got away relatively clean in the cuts, I would say.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, but Scale Shot, along with a Pokemon we're going to talk about next, they both learned moves that were move tutor moves in Pokemon's DLC Isle of Armor. So I think there's a good chance as soon as those tutors are made available in upcoming DLCs for Scarlet and Violet, I would imagine we're going to see stuff like Scale Shot and Flip Turn and one of our next moves, Triple Axle. I would imagine we're going to see those come back.
Hmm, we shall see. Are you
Is
talking
this me?
about
Whoops,
Weavile?
sorry. I lost track of who was talking about what. Yeah, so we got Weavile, also lost Knockoff, huge loss for that. Also lost Triple Axle. So it's back to running Icicle Crash. It might have, I assume it got Ice Spinner,
It
which
did
it
get
did.
Ice there.
But yeah, definitely a big downgrade here, losing Triple Axle. That's a lot of power. Losing Knockoff, all Dark types lost Knockoff, so that's a bummer for it. I mean, it's still got a great typing, great speed tier, very strong. So I think it'll probably rebound okay, but it's definitely a drop off for it.
Yeah. Up next we have Magnezone getting absolutely gutted, Jerem.
Absolutely
Absolute
gutted.
with the loss of teleport.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to switch my Magnezone out now without getting trapped by ground types?
Uh, you're just gonna have. You know what? Does air balloon work?
I guess it does.
Because like arena trap doesn't trap flying types. I wonder if you either magnet rise or have an air balloon, if you could get away from it. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that's like a good solution, but to be honest, teleport wasn't a great solution either.
No, it's not a great solution either. It's
So
just
I do like the idea. I'm gonna have to investigate that. That's interesting to me.
mm,
But yeah, teleport not a big loss, but it's something.
yeah.
Leafeon
And
lost
then
Solar Blade, which is stupid.
yeah, no, it's like its main. It's like the signature Leafeon move.
Just let it have Solar Blade. Who cares?
Yeah, no, apparently Game Freak cares very much.
Apparently they do.
Up next we have all of the Rotom forms lost defog.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, again, some roll decompression making Rotoms less like one less able to do everything, I suppose, and more pigeonholed into doing a couple of things.
Also not on this list. Lost Pain Split too.
Oh yeah, that I think that's actually a
That's a
pretty
bigger
crippling
deal.
loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in League where you can't really recover otherwise with it.
Yeah. Rotom had since it has such low base HP, usually Pain Split was able to get it relatively healthy. Um, Pain Split being gone is a big deal for it. Kind of a bummer. So what do we got next? We have your boy, one of your many boys.
One of many boys.
We've got Crocodile losing high horsepower. Probably not going to come up super often unless it's dealing with grassy terrain. But also losing Knockoff and Darkest Lariat. Darkest Lariat, less of a problem since it still has access to Crunch. Knockoff, definitely a downgrade going from Knockoff down to Crunch in terms of, power and utility. But, I mean, how do you feel about the diminished distribution of Knockoff?
I mean, I do understand it because I don't know. We've spoken about this a bit. I think that Game Freak is like they're trying to shape the game a little bit more. I think that can be clear with like the reduction and peeling type moves. Um, I don't hate it because it it does really suck to like plan your week around. All right, I got this set that I'm bringing, and then you just get knocked off, and you can't do anything about it. And
Yeah.
um, I don't hate it actually. I just it does make a lot of these mons worse.
Yeah,
Um,
Knockoff's tough because it had such a great secondary effect, and then also since it was so strong, um, it's definitely a noticeable change. But
well, and it's so easy to run on defensive mons because it's like yeah, you're not doing any damage, but you're at least taking away their item. Like
yeah, like even if you got the play wrong and they went into a resist and didn't take much damage, having them lose leftovers or an Eviolite or
yeah, I
anything.
actually don't hate it that much. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm with you. Also, we see Electros lose knockoff. It has such a big move pool. I wonder, does it get any other dark coverage or is it?
Maybe Dark Pulse.
Okay, it gets crunch.
Oh, Crunch. Yeah, that's fine.
But I bet you, like,
Fish.
Electros is one of those things that probably only ever ran knockoff because it's such a good move.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Electros is a good mon. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's has no weaknesses.
So
Oh,
after
it's my
that,
turn. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
After that is Bisharp, not King Gambit. King
No,
of Gambit.
I don't know how that is supposed to be pronounced. I think it's just King Gambit, which I don't like.
No, yeah, because you can't use the G for both. You got to put two G's in there then.
Yeah.
But whatever. Also losing knockoff. I mean, again, I think it's still fine because it still gets what Night Slash and does it get Crunch as well?
No, I don't think so. It has no mouth.
It doesn't have a mouth. I mean, you could crunch you with its arms.
Uh, yeah, but crunches for mouths.
Yes,
Silly rabbit.
what a weird thing to say, Jerem. Talk about your boy.
Well, real quick, I just wanted to check and see what other physical dark moves it gets. Yeah, foul play, but come on, it's unreliable. Night slash, thief, assurance, fling, and sucker punch. So
I mean, you're running sucker a lot of the time
yeah,
anyway.
you're running sucker, night slash, iron head, swords dance, another
Super,
move.
yeah, fighting type
Yeah,
brick break.
so Hydreigon losing Defog and Roost here. Not stuff we saw in it a lot, but but this is just it's like a support set for Hydreigon that is now just taken away. I've seen these moves run on it, so it is a little bit disappointing to have it lose those things, but it'll still get to do the Hydreigon things, which just drops Dracos, Dark Pulses, and Flash Cannons, and be generally annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think this makes it like significantly worse. Like it just really takes something away from it because now you can only really attack with it. Like,
Yeah, because does it
but
still get like? Because it used to get like Thunder Wave. Yeah, it still gets. Yeah, it's still. Yeah, you got to go pretty offensive with it. But I also think since they added Nasty Plot to it last generation, which I believe it still has access to, yes, that this is the direction it was going anyways. I feel like I haven't seen support Hydreigon since like Gen 6 or 7.
I guess that's fair. Moving on, we have Volcarona also losing Defog and Roost. Um, also not great for Volcarona.
Yeah, now, quick note, it does still get Morning Sun. So
Yeah,
it does have some recovery, and now that Roost and Morning Sun have the same amount of PP, really the only difference is whether or not you're going to be able to control the weather.
yeah,
So interesting thing that I'm going to put in here that I found out. I believe this is a change. So obviously with the decrease in PP to moves like Roost, Recover, Soft Boiled, one of the things you think about there is, oh man, you're going up against a pressure Pokemon. You only have 4 of them instead of the 8. But I don't know if it's a change or if it's a bug that was on Showdown. But pressure is only affects moves that actually target that Pokemon.
hmm.
So that's actually a pretty big nerf for pressure.
I mean, if it's not a bug,
I had seen something about it before. I haven't tried to do this in game. I might try to do it in game just to see what that's all about. But like you still get that's definitely helpful for these Pokemon that lost half of their recovery moves.
yeah,
So after that, we've got Dragalge losing Flip Turn, which I mentioned earlier. I think that might come back once they because right now nothing can really learn it outside of a few things have it in their level up move pools, but not currently a tutor move, so obviously it's got less distribution. Also losing Sludge Wave. This is slightly more impactful than um, Gengar losing it, just because adaptability it compounds a little bit more. Having 5 more base power actually ends up being more because of adaptability. It's actually like 10 base power difference. So that might matter a little bit, but like I said before, Sludge Bomb is not that drastic of a decrease in power.
no, not really. Up next, we have Sylveon losing Mystical Fire. Really kind of crushing for Sylveon.
Yeah.
Its only real way to hit Steel types, taken away, viciously ripped from its grasp.
Yeah, it got Mystical Fire, I want to say in Gen 7. It's never
Yeah,
had like in back in Gen 6, it had Hidden Power Fire to be able to hit steel types. Now its best way to hit steel types, honestly, its best way to hit steel types still Hyper Voice technically.
yeah.
But Shadow Ball, I think, is probably next on that list, which is notably weaker than Mystical Fire because it's not super effective.
Yeah, yeah. Not a. It's not great.
Okay, Toxapex. Toxapex is so Lost Knockoff, Lost Scald. Had recovers PP reduced. Toxapex has absolutely had its standard move pool slashed.
Yeah, no, it's been most gutted, I think, by the changes.
Yeah, this one's rough. I don't really know what Toxapex is meant to do now, other than come in, be super passive, and like it could run that new move, Chilling Water, which yeah, you're running off a 53. It's a 50 base attack, running off a 53 base special attack. You're damage wise, you're better off using Liquidation.
Yeah, no, and if you're running a special attacker anyway, it doesn't even matter. So like,
Yeah, big downgrade for Toxapex. There's
and
been
then
there's been a movement over the past few seasons to move Toxapex down, but I think because of the prevalence in our metagame of regenerators, I don't think people wanted to do that. But
this is pretty crushing for Toxapex. Like it's all everything that it used to do is
yeah,
gone.
yeah, big time.
Up next, Lurantis, going from a neat mon to borderline unusable mon by losing superpower.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He's it's just why you gotta pick on Lurantis, Game Freak? What's your deal, huh?
yeah. This is really bad because now all you can really run is Leaf Storm. That's the only thing that benefits from Contrary that I'm seeing
It's
out
the only
here.
move it gets to get the benefits from contrary
Yeah,
now,
that's
which is just dumb.
absolutely huge bummer for Lurantis. Um,
Why would you give a Pokemon contrary then only give it one move that can
uh,
benefit from that?
well, it worked with Superior.
Did it?
Yeah, Superior was very good.
I mean, in league format?
Uh, I could look up stats, but I'm not going to do it. We're not going
I
to have that
we don't. I
debate right
know.
now.
It's like, oh man, no. Sorry guys.
Lurantis
Mom and
never good
mom
in
and
league
dad are
format or
arguing.
on the ladder. So,
Yeah,
uh,
you're right. You're right.
so Serena also lost knockoff, big loss for it. Also lost triple axle. Again, might get it back at some point, but this stinks for Serena.
Yeah,
Not much else to say about that.
Team Kick taking it on the chin.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
uh,
still
Up
still
next we
able to
have.
drop kick and high jump kick. But you know,
I
definitely.
mean, the triple axle gave it a nice coverage trio though.
Yeah,
Like,
it was nice for it to be able to hit incoming grass types super effectively. Um,
yeah.
so yeah.
Up next we have Palo Sand losing Scorching Sands, which seems dumb, especially since sand is in its name.
Yeah, it should get to keep this. This is dumb.
I don't understand it either because it's not like it wasn't like Scorching Sands broke Palo Sand. It's still a Palo Sand.
No. Yeah, this Isle of Armor move tutor, probably going to see this come back at some point, but for the time being, it's got to revert to running the slightly stronger Earth power, but at the same time, it's like, this is. It's a defensive Pokemon. It being able to burn was a nice thing
Yeah, no,
for it.
like you'd rather have that burn than that damage, probably.
Yeah. Geez, after that we have Komala. It only really had one set that it was known for, and that was Sleep Talk Last Resort. Um,
Not
Losing Last
anymore,
Resort
Jerem.
sucks. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Now you're back to running like Wish,
You've been
Protect, Rapid
punked.
Spin, and a, another move. I don't know, maybe Play Rough or Sucker Punch, U-turn. I don't know.
U-turn, I would, maybe U-turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now very supportive Pokemon.
Up next we have Dreadnought, losing high horsepower, superpower, and Mega Horn. Like, I mean, you'd rather have all three of them. Like, it's definitely. I mean, Mega Horn sucks. Superpower especially sucks, but it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still Dread.
I've never seen Dreadnought run any of these moves, but it is like, yeah, you didn't have to take those away. Um,
Yeah,
so I am noticing. I don't think this is in our list later, but it does have Shell Smash now, which is kind of neat.
yeah. I mean, especially since it's a turtle,
Yeah.
should have Shell Smash.
After that, we've got another Swift Swimmer that lost an important move. Barrascuda lost Flip Turn. Um, Again, I don't think this had Flip Turn until Isle of Armor came out, but this is definitely something that maybe it ends up being a blessing in disguise because it frees up a move slot, but it
Yeah, you
definitely,
become more of like a Sharpedo like special physical attacker as opposed to
yeah,
like
running
a lead crunch.
liquidation, crunch, close combat, psychic fangs, maybe a poison
Yeah,
jab mixed in there.
depending on matchup per week.
Yeah,
Yeah. Up next we have Hatterene losing expanding force. Not really a big deal for Hatterene. I mean, just run psychic still.
yeah.
Um,
Much bigger deal. Indeedee losing both expanding force and mystical fire.
yeah, borderline unusable mon.
Yeah, for sure. Like it still is gonna be, it's gonna have decently powerful psychics coming off of like psychic terrain. But the fact
Can't
that
hit
it can't
steel
hit, yeah,
types.
it can't hit steel types. It's bad. This is a big downgrade to a Pokemon that was honestly a huge threat in the metagame in past generations.
Definitely.
Yeah. But that's all we have for Pokemon that lost moves. Thank you all for listening to this one. On a, we'll have a much happier note of Pokemon that gained moves coming up after this.
Yeah, after a short break from our sponsors.
Uh, did you get sponsors?
Sure.
Okay, good. Sponsors, go here.